Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Hip Hop Headlines Haven back again with something that'll make your jaw drop. Word on the street, Diddy might not serve all 50 months. He might be home in just a year. Yeah, you heard me. Judge already signaled he'll recommend that rehab program, RDAP, which could cut serious time off his sentence. Today, I'm breaking it all down. How it works, the risks, what the culture's saying. Do me a solid, like the vid, hit the bell, and tap in for this FYI. You don't want to miss this. Let's get into it. A recent court document showed Judge Subramanian, let me know if I pronounced this correct, is offering to recommend Diddy for the Residential Drug Abuse Program, RDAP. That's a 9-month intensive rehab program inside prison. If Diddy qualifies and completed, he could shave up to 1 year off his 50-month sentence. His legal team is pushing for Diddy to serve time at FCI Fort Dix, New Jersey, because that facility offers RDAP. But here's the catch, Fort Dix isn't a cakewalk. Former inmate Joe Gott is warned about violence and gang-related issues at that prison.
All right, what Diddy is in it's like a transit spot from when you go from one federal prison to another. It's not really a spot where everybody stays at. You know what I mean? Unless you're like a rat or something like that. You know what I mean? And if you're being protected or if you're somebody, a very high-profile person, you know what I mean, they'll keep you there until whatever, you know what I mean? So I remember when I got in there was a big beef with MS-13 and the Bloods or some other gang. Okay, so this Bloods and the MS-13 gang, it was like becoming a big thing, because they're throughout the whole prison, you know what I mean? And they literally had to get like the head of one of the big heads from another prison and bring him there to calm things down.
Also, Diddy already served over a year in the Brooklyn Detention Center. That time counts, so theoretically, if everything aligns, he could bounce out way earlier than people think. But this ain't guaranteed. RDAP acceptance is selective. The Bureau of Prisons got the final say. If any part of his conviction is seen as violent or involving weapons, they could deny him. Then you got critics and supporters in the culture going back and forth. Some say this is justice. Even Diddy's looking for redemption. Others say, nah, that's too soft for what he been accused of. And you got shade from other rappers and folks watching. He getting special treatment, they'll say, or he earning it. Either way, if Diddy really get out earlier, it's gonna shake how artists see accountability in this industry. Alright fam, that's the full breakdown how Diddy might beat part of his 50-month bid, the rehab route, the risk, and the culture buzz. What you think though? Will he make it out in a year, or is this wishful thinking? Drop your hot take in the comments. Thanks for locking in. If you're rocking with this heat, subscribe and tap in for the next video only, because we stay connecting the real and hip-hop. Peace out.
Diddy will be released in just 1 year. Despite being sentenced to 50 months in federal prison, the actual time he'll serve is shockingly short. He already gets 12 months of credit for time served, bringing the sentence down to 38 months. Under federal rules, inmates serve only 85% of their time, which lowers it to about 32 months. Then comes the First Step Act. By completing approved programs, inmates can shave off up to 12 months, dropping the total to 20 months. Next is RDAP, a treatment program that can reduce sentences by another 12 months if completed. That cuts the time down to just 8 months left. Finally, under the Second Chance Act, those last 8 months can be served in a halfway house or home confinement. So on paper, it's a 50-month sentence. In reality, it's closer to a single year behind bars, possibly even less if everything goes smoothly. And that's why this case has exploded online. People see 50 months in headlines and think he's gone for years. But the legal math tells a very different story. Critics call it celebrity privilege. Others argue this is simply how the federal system works.
Hi, my name is Josh Colesrud. P. Diddy was just sentenced to 4 years and 2 months. But how long is he really going to spend in prison? Well, let me tell you, he qualifies for the First Step Act, which means that he only has to serve 50% of his time. He also qualifies for the RDAP program, or the Residential Drug Treatment Program. And once you successfully complete that prison 500-hour program, you get 1 year knocked off your sentence. And he also has over a year of in-custody credit. So how much time is he really looking at? Well, by my calculations, just a bit over 9.5 months, which means that he could be released as early as July of next year.
I got breaking news, guys. It may have not been the news that you wanted to hear, but I have insider information that Puffy has been sentenced to 14 months and he will be released in December. Breaking news, Diddy has received 14 months on his sentence and he will be released in December. He's already done 12 months. So Diddy will be free before Christmas time to spend time with his family. His ex Gina showed up. They allowed his pastor to speak. They allowed his children to speak. And of course you have the statements read out from the victims too as well. But Judge, I think it's pronounced Sobranian, however you pronounced it, has officially announced that Diddy is going to receive 14 months on his sentence. That means 2 months from today, Mr. Sean Combs will be released. The prosecutor was shooting for 11 years, but the diddler only has 2 more months. Breaking news.
That's no violence. I forgot. Yeah, he do classify for whatever that is. So I don't know. He'd probably be home in the next year and 6 months, bro.
Diddy has put in his recommendation on what prison he wants sent to, and he's moving very calculated, and I honestly can't say I'm surprised. Diddy's lawyers just put in this motion to the judge asking for a recommendation for Diddy to be sent to a low-security prison, which is Fort Dix in New Jersey. And they highlight that Diddy wants to go to this prison for multiple reasons, but the main reason that they list this prison is because Diddy wants to try to get into RDAP. That is a prison program where you can actually get up to a year off your sentence if you struggled with substance abuse issues. And honestly, this is one of the best programs where you can get a substantial amount of time off of your sentence if you complete the program. But there's also some things that Diddy would have to meet to even get into this program, which I don't think is going to happen. We already know that Diddy is going to shoot his shot as hard as he can to try to get into this program, because already with what Diddy was sentenced and his time served added to that, he's only looking at about 2.5 years in total. If he was able to make it to this program, he could get up to another year off, meaning he'd only sit 1.5 years in prison.